Thank you for being here on this beautiful day. It's so beautiful. I invite you now, as you're moved, to take some deeper breaths, to let yourself arrive a bit more fully as we each aim to tune in to whatever word God has for us today. And I offer this prayer from Psalm 19. God, may the words of my mouth and the meditations of all our hearts be acceptable in your sight, our rock and our redeemer. Amen. I sometimes have to let myself pause and step away and take some deeper breaths so I can show up the way people need me to, the way I want to. Because if I don't, I have found that I will end up serving tears with sandwiches. It's true. And I just really want to add kindness and love and to try to fill stomachs and quench thirst, but that felt almost impossible this week for my route with the wagon. As you might remember, Wednesday was so hot. And I couldn't help but worry about serving my own sadness in that cold cup of water. We all stopped and listened. As many of you know, a group of us from our church, and Kathy too, and Carol, and gather each week to do outreach for those who are homeless. And every year we do water bottle drives and sock drives. And it's been a real commitment of our church to show up for those on the margins. But man, sometimes it's really hard. So this week we all just stopped and listened to a loud lamentation from a man whose stuff had just been taken and he was left with nothing. And then a man whose age was hard to discern. That's the thing with people living on the streets. You just don't know how old they are. His age was hard to discern, and he came kind of stumbling from behind a tree, begging for water. His face was covered with scabs and sores. And then a woman who had already received housing, but who still came to the park to see her friends and help whomever and however she could, she announced that someone had just had an overdose. Right then and there. And maybe you read about it in the paper yesterday. It wasn't just one, it was two. I had to let myself stop and step away and breathe. I just felt terrible at this. Who wants tears with their sandwiches? It does make me feel good to offer compassion in a plastic bag, but wow, does it feel too small in the face of the need? You wonder what good it will do to these acts. Will it ever end homelessness, really? And then I got to thinking about our building homes, which we're doing with Habitat in 2 weeks on the 16th. Will that end homelessness? And what about our planting seeds and open space? That won't shift the dial for climate change. Or the garden we have out there, producing tons of food for CU students that we don't even really know. Does that matter? Or Kevin going to Pine Ridge to help. That won't undo the history of genocide. But you know what? I am 100% sure that each and every one of our efforts, each and every act, each time we try, even when imperfectly and awkwardly with tears, it matters. It matters because refusing to ignore what and who hasn't belonged or what has been broken or broken off brings the pieces together again. It brings healing and hope, not just for the one, but for the whole. We are continuing to explore Paul's letter to the community in Rome. And as you know, Paul, he always tries to get too much in. And one commentator said, woe to the preacher who tries to get that much in. Because right in this little paragraph, we've got Christology, ecclesiology, soteriology, eschatology, and ethics right there. And in fact, there's 23 imperatives in this just one paragraph. So I'll give you just a few. So we are living in a time where there's so much fragmentation, and I know many of you have commented on how you feel that. And part of that is separating us, dividing us into groups, convincing us that someone or a group of people is the enemy. 1 week it's trans people or people with mental illness or immigrants or people who are living with addiction. We are told all of these groups are not us, that they are to worry about, that they are groups to fear. But what a gift that we gather together each week to hear something else, to hear an entirely different message. And here is one. What if there really is no stranger? What if we are but one body with many members? A whole big connected thing with different parts, but sometimes these parts get separated or hurt or lost. And it takes our willingness to see beyond our own lives and to act. Valerie Carr writes, when we choose to wonder about people we don't know, when we imagine their lives and listen for their stories, when we begin to expand the circle of those we see as part of us, we prepare ourselves to love beyond what evolution requires. I just dig that line. Our small and big acts invite us beyond where we might be on our own. And what if this kind of love does take intention and effort like a spiritual discipline, which means we will get it wrong sometimes, which means we must keep on. But when we try for what we couldn't do without practice or patience, when we find ways to cross the chasm that has kept us comfortable, we are part of the revolution of love. We are literally healing the wounds of the world. So, beloved of God, your small acts matter. Even if imperfectly, awkwardly, let our love be genuine. Let us turn away from all that separates us from our greater love. Let us hold fast to what is good. Let us love one another with mutual affection. Outdo one another in showing honor. Let us rejoice in hope, be patient with what is hard, and keep on with our prayers. Let us extend hospitality to strangers. Let us send blessings to those who don't yet get it, while trying not to curse them. Let us rejoice when we need to, and weep when we need to. And let us also breathe when we need to. And knowing whatever we do, we will do it imperfectly, and still we must extend hospitality to strangers. And in doing that, we are ending fragmentation, we are mending and reconnecting, we are healing the whole world. As we heard, love is a form of sweet labor. So we will refuse to ignore what has been broken or broken off. What if there really is no stranger? What if we are but one body? May it be so. Amen.
Greetings to you wherever you are watching this. For those of you whom I have yet to meet in person, I'm Reverend Nicola Marsh, pastor here at Community UCC. And we see that people like you are watching our live stream each week. And because of this, we are excited to be embarking upon an experiment. And we need you. If you are engaging with us regularly, finding meaning in what we are about, we would like to extend a special invitation for you to be among the first CUCC digital disciples. For signing up for just $10 a month, you will receive a t-shirt with the new CUCC logo, And we are also exploring the idea of offering other content to those of you who are part of this new and growing area of digital ministry. Sign up to support us in this new way at cuccboulder.org/support by clicking on the yellow donate tab and noting you are a digital disciple in the instructions. Or as always, we welcome an old-fashioned check mailed to us at CUCC, P.O. Box 3646, Boulder, Colorado 80307. Thank you for being and building beloved community with us, and thank you for your gift, whatever it might be.